Howdy, Max here. Thanks for watching our first episode of Spreading Hope while fighting stage 4 prostate cancer. Now, let me get this out of the way. I am not going to call my diagnosis by its first name. I'm going to fight. This is my Goliath. We all have a Goliath, and we all need to stay in the fight. This show is more of a platform for us to chronicle our fight with Goliath and how we are making a difference in this world by spreading hope. So, this is how my story begins as far as fighting Goliath. Several years ago, my healthcare provider failed to diagnose Goliath in me. I frequently took blood tests. I didn't miss examinations or physicals, but throughout all this time, they never checked my PSA level in my blood. So, all you men out there or people who care about a man, make sure he gets his PSA level checked. 100% of men will get this Goliath in them sometime in their life. It could be 40 years old, it could be 100 years old. It will happen. Okay. So a PSA level should be a 4.5 or lower. Mine was over 1,000. So that kind of lets you know how long they just let it go and failed to diagnose it. Now, well, I didn't have any symptoms. So that's another thing. There wasn't anything out of the ordinary that caused me to worry about something being wrong. I live a pretty active life. I'm a full-time middle school English teacher at a Title I school, which means that all of our nearly 1,100 students receive free meals. I also play golf regularly. I go on overnight fishing trips. I bowl. I walk about 6 miles a week. Again, no symptoms, no indication that anything was wrong. Okay, then about 5 months ago in August, in the morning before work, I was working out with some dumbbells and I injured my rotator cuff. So now I'm back with my healthcare provider asking for an MRI, which are still dragging their feet and not allowing me to get one, just like before, saying that I need to go to rehab first, which didn't make sense to me because I knew it was a rotator cuff injury, and I felt if I didn't know exactly where the tear was or how bad it was, by doing any type of exercise or rehab, I had the potential of making it worse. So just to get an MRI, I said, okay, finally, I will go to rehab. I went to rehab for one day. That very first day, the rehab therapist told me, yes, it's a rotator cuff injury, and I'll put in a referral for an MRI. Now, this is already in October, near the beginning. So I get an MRI, and now we're near the end of October. I'm at work. It's back to school night. So I'm waiting for parents and students who come to our site. I decide to go online and check to see if my MRI results are in. So I go in, I check, and yes, they're there. So I open up my folder and I see the MRI results. And right at the top, yes, there's a rotator cuff tear and there's some type of itis. That confirms what I was believing or believing to know. So I shut down, get back to work. I get a phone call from my doctor about 5 minutes later. He says, hey, did you see your results? I said, oh, yeah, I saw the results. He goes, well, what did you think? I said, well, yeah, I see there's a rotator cuff tear, just like I thought, and there's some type of itis. He goes, well, did you see the other thing? I said, well, what other thing? He says, you have bone cancer. I said, what? Where does it say I have bone cancer? He said, you'll have to scroll down a little farther, and it shows there that you have bone cancer. So that means if I would have never injured my rotator cuff, they never would have found Goliath in me on my arm underneath my rotator cuff, right on my humerus bone. That would have never been discovered. So, just trying to gather all this. It's pretty frustrating when I think about it. Sometimes you got to think, why am I going through this? Sometimes I'm speechless because I don't know. Okay, so here's a picture on how I looked 3 months ago. As you can see, I have all my hair. Um, I don't look like there's a worry in the world. My wife and I, we were out at dinner. Again, I had no symptoms. There was there was nothing to indicate that there was something wrong with me. And this is how I look now. Okay. Well, don't be alarmed, but yes, be a little bit alarmed. About 2 weeks ago, I was washing my face before I was going to bed. I would wash my face and then I rub my head and I look at my hands and I saw a bunch of hair on my hands. And I said, no way. I said, no way. I said, Goliath, if this is going to happen, it's going to be on my terms. So I buzzed my head. So this is why I look like the way I do now. Not counting the bags under my eyes because of the lack of sleep, okay, and the medications that I've been taking. So I've been taking hormone therapies. I've had 2 rounds of chemotherapy, and this is where I'm at now. I would rather be fighting this guy. This guy. I mean, so far he hasn't hit me back, so that's a good thing, right? Let me put my uniform back on. Got my hat. Got my sunglasses. Okay, before I start talking about spreading hope, I want to share with you all the side effects I've been having, and I have a list here. Here's my list. Um, One, I've got some bruising when I had to do the self injections. I feel very lethargic much of the time. Um, my taste buds are shot, which is very disappointing, especially at dinner time. I have occasional nausea, occasional constipation. I have body and muscle pain. Mostly it's in the bones or around my thighs. I have hot flashes. That's a new one. Um, More quality time with family. That's a positive side effect. My spirituality has become my true north. I have congestion, occasional sore throat, cough, hiccups. That drives me crazy. My 5 o'clock shadow is now a 2 day shadow. It's delayed into 2 days. So now I have to shave less. And on top of all that, my rotator cuff is still healing. Okay. Now, um, a big part of my fight with Goliath is to spread hope uh, wherever I go. And I designed these T-shirts to help me with that. Let me show you. Let me show you a little bit what I have. Okay, on the back of the shirt, I have. Let's see if you can see this. Something that we all should do more as a society. Uh, Spread peace, not war. Spread love, not hate. Spread happiness, not despair. Okay, on the other side, on the front side, I have Isaiah 9:6. Unto us a child is born. For my fight with Goliath, Jesus is hope. So my crusade is to spread hope whenever I'm out there in the world, anywhere, and spread hope with anybody I feel strongly compelled to share it with. This is what I did earlier this month. Watch. Hey, Max here. It's January 1st, 2025. I'm in Anaheim, California, and I'm going to go out and spread some hope. Something's good is going to happen today. Let's go. One weekend, as my wife and I were out for dinner, I noticed a young man standing alone at a hotel valet parking podium. I walked up to him. I asked him how long he worked there. He told me about 3 years. I let him know that was a good accomplishment. And then I told him that the world is a much better place because you are in it. I said, always have hope, always keep the faith, and something good will happen. He smiled at me. I told him to have a fantastic rest of the day. I gave him one of our Spread Hope t shirts. He said thanks, gave me a fist bump, and then I went on my way. Now, I'm asking all of you to join our crusade, subscribe. Together, let's spread hope around the world and in our community. Everybody needs it. Go in the future. If there's anything that you would like me to specifically discuss, or if you want one of our Spread Hope t shirts to share with somebody, let me know in the comments. So, in the meantime, sometime in February, I will post episode 2. In the meantime, subscribe to Spread Hope. Something good will happen. Let's go.